Welcome on in to Reading Between the Wines. This is Disc 3 Evolution. It's been a whole year since we've been here. A whole year since we've been here doing the Reading Between the Wines segment. And let me tell you, so far, the response and the feedback from everybody has been amazing. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you out there for checking me out. If you are out there, please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend, let them know what we got going on here inside of the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines. It's been mind blowing already, especially the last two nights. I don't know what happened the last two nights, but my brothers came in, Alex Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico. We had Nate Perry from the Bronx come in last night. And man, these dudes just basically went in. So for the fellas out there, if you need some encouragement and you want to know that, you ain't the only one in it, you ain't the only one who feel the way that you feel sometimes, listen, check out the two replays, tag your friends, and better yet, we got mad shows coming up. So stay tuned, stick around, and you never know, what you might get. So we definitely going in. And before we get started, before we turn up and start drinking and all of that other extra stuff that we got going on here tonight, I want to give a very special thank you to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and serve each and every one of you. And without all of you out there checking me out, liking, commenting, I probably wouldn't be here. So thank you so much to each and every one of you out there for checking me out, rocking with me for all these years, checking on me. Amari, I appreciate you checking in on me. Nate Perry checks in on me. David Wayne Fox, Alex Coquito, Miss SOS, who's coming tomorrow. So many different people reached out to me and continue to support me. And you know what? I support each and every one of you too. So I may not be able to get to all of y'all all at once, but trust and believe that once the rotation and the cycle comes up, I definitely am right there. So here we are, ready to rock and roll. I want to thank my family for holding me down, my sister, my nieces, my mother, my stepfather. Thank you all so much. Again, Nate Perry was on last night. Nikki Stiles from Philly, thank you. List goes on and on with so many different people. And, I can't remember all of y'all, but I just want to say thank you so much. Star, what's going on? How are you? And if you are new, hanging out with me for the first time, I want to say thank you. Welcome. Please like, comment, and also drop it in the comments and let me know where you are calling from. Tag your friends and invite them in because we are getting ready to go in. This is Reading Between the Wines, and we are sampling some Zinfandel. So I don't know where y'all are from, but I am from Jersey, and it's pretty cold right now. And what a great way to finish off your night with a nice glass of red wine. And that's what we're doing here. So some of the feedback that I had was that I don't show y'all enough and I move too quick. So I'm going to take my time when I'm reading these bottles and these books, and I'm going to try to show y'all so that you can go out and purchase it or do whatever you do. But this is the bottle of wine that I'm sampling tonight. Old Moon, Old Vine, Zinfandel. So I've been amazed by Zinfandel because for so many, what's up Atlantic City? That's what's up. I love Atlantic City. I've been so amazed with White Zinfandel because White Zinfandel. See, I got distracted already. I've been so amazed with Zinfandel because I knew about White Zinfandel before I knew that there was a regular red Zinfandel. So when I was in a store and I'm like, oh shoot, this was years ago. I was like, Zinfandel? You mean it's not white? Because back in the 90s, everybody was on White Zinfandel. And when I realized that they had a red version of it, I picked up a bottle and I've been hooked ever since. So my favorite red wine when it comes to drinking red wine definitely is Zinfandel. So I'm not quite sure what yours is, but again, whatever you're drinking tonight, whatever you prefer, drop it in the comments. Let me know. I know a good Cabernet is great as well. And yeah, we're getting ready to sample this wine here. So, again, if you have any questions, you can text me at 609-738-0611. Any type of burning question, any question that you have in general, and I may go ahead and bring that up on future podcasts. Again, the comments, you drop them in the comments, and I usually typically respond to them as quick as I possibly can. Let's get right on into Song of the Day. Tweet, featuring Missy Elliott. Now, this song came out in 2016, but I have no idea why I keep this thing on repeat recently. So for the past like 2 weeks, this song been on repeat. I don't even know why, because I'm not even really in the state what the song is right now, but it's going to tie in a little bit once we continue to go on. Tweet featuring Missy Elliott, Somebody Else Will, 2016 off of the Charlene album. So for some reason, I just the beat just had me like this. So that's probably why I got it on repeat. But tonight we talking about Your Rejection, My Protection. So what a great way, to remix it with that song. If you don't love me, somebody else will. You think I won't leave? This time I'm going to leave. So that's what Tweet speaks about. And I ain't crying no more. So if you ever get to a point where somebody leaves you, somebody threatens that they're going to leave you, and you're at a point where you're not crying anymore, or you're at the point where you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to wait for you to leave. I'm going to go ahead and leave myself. So that's pretty much it. Song of the Day, Somebody Else Will. And the remix that I have to ask when I have a question for you is, when you say that somebody else will love you, if you ain't gonna love me, somebody else will. The question is, who is that somebody else? And I'll answer it for myself. It's me. So that's the best answer that I can come up with. If you ain't gonna love me, somebody else will. And I know who that person is, and that person is me. And it starts with self first. So for those of you out there, if you've ever been in a situation where you were struggling, you're crying over somebody leaving you or threatening to leave, and you wanting somebody to love you, we might need to remix this thing up a little bit. Instead of saying somebody else will, and in any case, that somebody else is going to be you. Once you get out of that situation, once that person turns their back on you, take that opportunity to get with self instead of running to the next and then running to the next and then running to the next and running to the next. That's something that, we really don't want to do. And that's just me giving you some of my personal, experience. And I can't tell you what to do, but only thing I can do is just give you my life as an example. Now, I have a inspirational quote that I want to go ahead and read tonight from Michelle Phan. And this is just so amazing because it's so true, and I truly do believe in it. And it goes like this: I believe that rejection is a blessing because it's the universe's way of telling you that there's something better out there. So that's where it comes down to your rejection, my protection. Sometimes people are set up, sometimes situations happen and things occur to where there will be some rejection. And because of rejection, it's protection. Because had you stayed in that situation, maybe you would have been locked up. Had you stayed in that situation, maybe you would have gone more into debt. If you had stayed in that situation, maybe you would have become pregnant. Who knows? If you had stayed in that situation, maybe you would have, lost out on another opportunity. So I don't know, who I'm talking to. I don't know, who's out there. But when you have gone through something, you've come out on the other end, and you can actually sit back and look at your life in a different aspect from the outside looking in instead of in looking out. You'll be able to see that, wow, I'm glad that I got up out of that situation. And you know what? It's not so bad after all, because over here, we doing all right. So your rejection is my protection. And because I held down myself and because I held tight and I held strong, wow, another opportunity opened up. You have a new job, you found somebody else, or, let me twist that around, and somebody else found you. You thought that you were so in love with this person over here, but it comes to find out, thank goodness that situation is over, because now you found the love of your life, 2, 3, 4 years later, hopefully after you get yourself together. So that's the direction that we going in tonight. Plus, we got Robert Stubblefield coming in, and he's going to take us to a whole nother direction with his Skyfall. And we got our Zinfandel, Old Moon, Old Vine. So we definitely going to have a great time here reading between the wines. So, song of the day, Somebody Else Will by Tweet featuring Missy Elliott off of the Charlene album 2016. Let me know what you're sipping on. Let me know where you calling from tonight. And I want to say thank you so much to the people out there on Facebook for, supporting and checking me out. My cousin Chanel and my cousin Kim, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wow, that was a lot. Mr. Nate Perry came through last night, my brother all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Man, they don't call him the King of Hearts for no reason. This brother poured his soul out. And the night before Alex Coquito, he definitely went in, and it was like we're, pushing, you know, pushing and breaking through, and so that there can be some type of healing. So, whew, man, last night was it was a lot. So please go ahead and check out that replay. Mr. Nate Perry, my brother from another, wow, Brooklyn, New York, stand up. Cheers. This is Reading Between the Wines. Demetria, thank you for joining in. Please let me know where you're calling from. So let's go ahead and get right on into this wine here as I'm anticipating this sample here. Old Moon, Old Vine, White Zinfandel is what we are sipping on tonight. Orlando, what's up? Thank you so much. Let me know where you were calling from. So Old Moon, our Old Moon Zinfandel is named after the January full moon, one of the brightest moons of the year. When the moon is full, the vines are dormant and the light is shining down on their aged silhouettes, creates the illusion of vines dancing across the field. This Zinfandel has a luscious nose of spice and black cherry, revealing plum and cherry flavors with a hint of vanilla on a finish of soft tannins. Pair this wine with bold flavors like blue cheese, ribeye steak, and roast beef. So, blue cheese, ribeye steak, and roast beef. When it comes to all of that extra stuff, ribeye steak, roast beef, I heard that it goes well with poultry, pork. Y'all can have all that because I don't eat meat. So, but I heard that this wine was very like bold and in some cases rough. That's what I heard. It was rough. Some of the reviews said that, but it is very bold. It's going to be more on the dry side. You're going to get plum. I smell lots of cherry, black cherries, red raspberries, chocolate, oak, vanilla. And to top it off, this wine is 14%. Now, I didn't know that these wines can go up to like 16, 17. I think in one case it's like 18%. I'm not real big on all of that, but I know people who are. There's some people who won't drink any wine that's lower than 9 or 8%. So this one here definitely is going to get you where you need to get to pretty quick considering some of the other ones. But yeah, so we getting ready to do it. your rejection by protection. All right, so let's see what we got here. I definitely taste a lot of cherry. And it's actually not bad. It's really not bad. It's not as rough as some of the reviews said about it. And I was kind of curious of why I said that it was rough, but it's real chilly here in Jersey, so this actually works very well. Nothing like getting into some pajamas, PJs, getting in front of a fireplace if you have one, and sipping on, some nice red wine. Cheers, everybody. I want to say thank you so much for hanging in there with me over the years. Thank you so much for supporting and coming back around for Disc 3 Evolution. We do Reading Between the Wines on Wednesday nights, and then we also do it on Friday nights. So that's a little bonus kicker. I know y'all been asking for a second show, and I got a second show. So 2 shows throughout the week. And I can't be out here drinking every single night like this. So that's why we do it. It's to limit it, on a Friday night, after, the work week is done. Wednesday, we can wind down a little bit because we know Thursday is a pregame. But all right, reading between the wines Wednesdays and Thursdays from now until December 30th. And on that note, it's time for our special guest. We have Mr. Robert Stubblefield that I'm going to go ahead and call on the phone here. And I will let y'all know about my brother that's getting ready to come up. Robert Stubblefield is a poet. He's an author. He's an activist and organizer currently located in the DMV area. So at first, when I heard of DMV, I was like, what the hell does that mean? But after figuring it out, it's Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area. I hope that that's right. And if it's not, then he gonna correct me when he comes up. He is a member of the Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition, Racial Justice Now, Montgomery County chapter of Democratic Socialists of America, Young People for Progress, and I was studying this before. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Nohin Dudfa, MD. And if I didn't get that correct, he'll correct me because I definitely want to ask him about this. Nohin Dudfa, MD, the Maryland chapter, and a host of other organizations. So he definitely is out there doing his thing. He has been published in the Black Agenda Report, Maryland Matters, and the Medium. When he's not fighting the power, because this gentleman definitely does, he does fight the powers that be. He can be found exercising or hanging out with family and friends. So Robert Stubblefield has been on this show at least twice. I think this is either his third or fourth time. And every time he comes on, it's a treat. I remember one time he had me just laughing as I was sipping here and carrying on. So we'll see what we got today. But let me tell you, when he starts to read and he comes in, he definitely is going to have your ear. So be getting ready to hang out with Mr. Robert Stubblefield tonight on Reading Between the Lines.
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
This is Laren from Reading Between the Wines.
Hey, Laren.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Reading Between the Wines.
Hey, thank you. I'm so glad to be back. How are you been doing?
I'm doing good. And, I'm actually doing so great because, all of the response that people have been giving the show so far. So I want to say thank you to everybody.
That's great. I'm great. This is like my favorite poetry podcast, and I'm always super excited whenever you invite me on here. It's a high honor. I just want to say thank you so much.
Well, I was honored to hear you say that, and I want to say thank you so much because, you do so much. I just named all of those different things. So, this is no bubblegum stuff here. Like this, you do your thing. So I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because you could be doing something different, but you decided to hang out with us here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My heart is bursting with joy.
Now, I do have a question. So the Nohin Dudfa, did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
I said it right?
Yes, you said it right, yes.
So can you explain to me what that is?
Okay, absolutely. So let me break down what Hindutva is. Hindutva is Hindu nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
What it seeks to do is that it seeks to build a Hindu ethnic state where pretty much the only religion that's allowed to be practiced is Hinduism. The founder of Hindutva was V.D. Savarkar back in the 1920s, and he was heavily influenced by Nazi Germany and Benito Mussolini's fascist Italy. In fact, his words were, just like you have a Germany for the Germans and an Italian for the Italians, you must have a Hindustan for the Hindus. And a primary goal of Hindutva is to basically get rid of what they deem foreign influences, which would mean religions like Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, even though Buddhism was founded in India. And why in America we should be concerned is because Hindutva's reach is international. In fact, the lieutenant governor of the state that I live in, she has received money in the past from groups with ties to Hindutva, such as Overseas Friends of the BJP and the HSS, which stands for the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh. And that's concerning because they're basically trying to put influence in our politics, which is already bad enough with good old-fashioned Christian nationalism, but mixing in Hindutva can produce even more disastrous results.
Wow.
And we're already seeing a connection between how in India, Muslim cemeteries, Christian cemeteries are being desecrated, and here in the United States, African-American cemeteries are being desecrated. So we're already seeing like a connecting pillar between the two, between these two ideologies. So that's something that we're working on, trying to step out and making sure that anyone with ties to Hindutva, especially those in public office, not only resign, but they no longer have a public life ever again.
Oh, wow, that's terrible. Wow. Well, thank you so much for informing me on that one, because I had no idea what that was, but jeez.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, man. It's one of those things. It's when you don't know. It's like if you don't know, then how can you call it out? And then when you do find out, you start looking at connecting threads, and it's like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? So no problem at all.
Well, that's what you're here to do. That's what you do. So you definitely will educate folks that don't know. So I think that that's great. And as we rewind it, as we back up a little bit, I talked at the beginning, at the top of the show, about your rejection, my protection. Do you have any insight on that? Did you listen in on that?
Well, yes, I did listen into that, and I think that's definitely, in my experience, that's definitely so true. Like, in terms of things that you thought that you wanted, or like, as a person that you thought was going to be good for you, then things don't work out. Then all of a sudden, down the road, you hear like the thing that you thought you wanted, it wasn't good enough, or that person or that position you thought that you wanted was actually not good for you. So it definitely feels like, hey, I may have felt rejected and dejected in the beginning, but now I realized that I was being protected for my higher purpose.
I'm so glad that you said that, because for people out there in the workplace too, see, sometimes we think that it's just relationships, but I've had multiple people, family members, and I've had friends that were seeking positions. So you said something about a position, seeking to get promotions on a job. I have one friend who kept applying and applying and applying and applying, and they kept turning them down, turning them down, turning them down, turning them down. And it's like, don't get upset, because there could be a reason why you're getting turned down. Your rejection, my protection. You might be being protected from a disastrous situation. Sometimes these jobs and these promotions and these career paths that we think are great turn out to be a disaster. So, rejection can come from so many different sources. So it's not just, specifically a relationship, but thank you so much for touching base on that, sometimes it could be a promotion or, a career change that you've been, seeking after, and you're getting rejected for a reason.
Yeah, it's something that I had to learn in my own journey, professionally and personally, that there were things that maybe I wasn't good for that position, but then something better came along that I was the ideal fit for, and then I wound up taking off that way. And I think that's something that I always keep, myself in the background. Like, if I get rejected from something, I'm just going to be like, my attitude is now, I'm being rejected for this because something better down the pipeline is coming. I'm being protected from whatever trials and tribulations coming from what I thought that I wanted. It kind of goes back to the saying, all that glitters ain't gold,
Yeah, no, I definitely know that to be true. I know that to be so true. That's why they say people who want in, there are people who are in that want out. So just because you see somebody with something, don't necessarily mean that that's where you need to be, because you too busy wanting what they want, but they on the inside and they are wishing that they could be where you are. So the grass is not always greener. All right, so let's get right on into it. It's been a minute since I spoke to you, so I'm sure you got something new for us. So what do you have for us tonight?
Oh, absolutely. So earlier this year, I published my third poetry book, Skyfall Volume 1, The Lamentations of a Weeping Prophet. A little bit of background about that is that it follows the similar themes of Written in Blood and No Rain in the Desert, in the sense that I'm talking about love and social political commentary. But also at the same time, though, it's kind of, takes a different track in terms of the fact that it's really more reflecting on the state of the world. Like, for instance, like the cover is different. You may recall, like, for Written in Blood and No Rain in the Desert, I was going with the Grim Reaper motif. But
Right.
in this one, on the book cover, I chose to do shooting stars with the names of people who were killed by police over the past year. And so I wanted to do that as a way to make people remember those, that just because the media is no longer talking about these individuals or hasn't talked about these individuals, doesn't mean that we as a community shouldn't stop talking about these individuals. So that's one thing. The second thing why I chose that title is because I was trying to publish Skyfall in 2022, but 2022 to me, it was a really rough year for me personally. I don't mean to get a little bit too dark, but I had 14 deaths of people that were close to me in 2022, like mentors, family, close friends, fellow activists, and it was like I couldn't take time to grieve, like I wanted to. And also the job I was working at the time, it started off good, but then it just started going downhill, and that wasn't a good scenario. And so, I really was trying to had to delay the publication of the book. And then when I left earlier this year, when I left my bad job and finally ever taking time to grieve, I thought about, when the tears were falling down my face, I thought about the words that one of my mentors used to say, that tears are actually a sign of strength, right? Because not only does it let you know that it's okay to let things go, but every tear tells a story. So my whole thing with the concept of the weeping prophet, it harkens back to Jeremiah, who was called that because Jeremiah wept, but his tears were a sign of strength, that he knew what he was doing and thing was right. And so what I wanted to do with that title, Lamentations of a Weeping Prophet, is just to lay my soul bare, and also let people know. In fact, if you look at the book cover, the shooting stars can also look like teardrops. So I'm letting people know that it's okay to cry, because it's sometimes letting the tears fall is a sign of pure strength. So I released it I released it in March of this year, and it just felt the timing was right, and it's out now.
For when I am weak, I am strong. So absolutely. And when you go through that, it's like a release, So absolutely. Listen, you going in already. I hear your vocabulary, sir. I hear that vocabulary. I know where you're coming from. You got a good spiritual background, sir. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And that's the thing I like, that it's when I am weak is when I am strong. That
Absolutely.
is so true. And it took going through, I think I might mention this when I first my first appeared on your show. There were a couple of things that I had to learn. Some of it the hard way, some of it hitting rock bottom. That you gotta let the tears fall. It's not a sign it's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of that you're a punk. It's actually, if anything, it's saying, hey, I'm getting rid of this heavy load, so now I can fully focus on what exactly is not only my purpose, but how can I best have joy in my own life.
Right, right. Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? When you hit rock bottom and you can't get any lower, at that point, if you hit rock bottom, you're not going to be caring what somebody else think. They can think whatever they want to think. But I think that's the purpose of hitting rock bottom, so that you can figure out that it was never about anybody else to begin with. It was about you. So we typically go through
Yeah,
these situations and we have these moments where we're crying over something that's outside of us, crying over that job, crying over that promotion, crying over that ex, crying over that lover. All of those things are outside of us. And yeah. Anyway.
yeah, no, you're right about that. In fact, when you no longer care about what anyone thinks about you, you kind of also during that period of introspection, I think, realize that what they think about you is a reflection of what they really think about themselves. It reminds me of a quote. It reminds me of a quote that I remember. I was reading a quote that it's a tribute to Lord Buddha, who says, "I am not who you think I am. You are what you think I am." And for me, that's an attitude. Whenever someone wants to call me out my name, I just look at them like that's a reflection of who you are, because I know I'm not that. You may feel that you're that, but I know I'm not that. You know.
my friend from the Bronx, shout out to Miss Eugenia. She used to crack me up because she would be like, you know what? Whenever somebody said, I would tell her what somebody said about me, and she'd be like, you know what? That don't have anything to do with you. And that's exactly how they feel about themselves. But then she would add a little salt and pepper on it. And she would like, that's exactly what they feel about themselves and their mother.
I gotta remember that. I want to remember that. It's how they feel about themselves and their mother. I'm gonna remember that.
I was like, oh, listen. After you heard that, it was like, all right, I'm good now. So, first of all, when people call you out your name, what you answering for? Because unless that's on your birth certificate, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get all bent out of shape if somebody call you something, whatever, or something like that. Whatever, that don't have anything to do with you. So
exactly.
All right, so I see that you have 3 books now. So the writing process, how long does it take you to go through a book or to put a book together? And before you answer, I want to say what's up to author Gallardo. Thank you so much for joining in. Lovely X, I see you out there. Infinite Possibility 65. Thank you so much, Jonathan Garcia. All right, so you got 3 books. How long does it take you to put one together, or is it different for each different book, each season, each situation? How's that work?
So it's definitely different. Each process is different. Like in terms of writing, I could be writing, regularly. In terms of depends on how I feel in the moment, whether I'm helping a friend go through a tough time, or I want to write something positive and affirming and loving, or if I'm hearing about a big situation that's taking place in the movement, I want to see what's going on and how I'm processing it and write about it. And sometimes that I can be writing every day, and other times I'll take a brief writing hiatus. But then 2-3 months later, all of a sudden it's there's a flood of stuff coming out. So putting that together, it does take time, but usually I'm able to put together a collection of poems within about, I would say, roughly 5 to 6 months. And then it's a matter of organizing the pieces that I kind of treat it like an album process, where what themes am I feeling right now that I want to put out there in the world, right? And once I get those, I'll start putting those in tandem, making sure that they flow one after another. And then once that's done, in terms of editing it, putting the page numbers, I'm then working with a friend of mine who's a graphic designer. In fact, he's the one that's done the cover of all 3 of my books. And in terms of what vision am I looking for? What's the theme, the motifs am I looking for? Mm-hmm. And, we'll put those together. I'll tell him what I'm looking for, and he'll do a rough sketch, and then he'll show me the rough sketches, and then we'll see what do I like about it? What do I want to see more of? What do I want to put more of a heavy emphasis on? And then he'll go back and then he'll show me like 2 rough cuts of what's going to be the book cover, the final book cover. And I'll be like, hey, I'm feeling this one a little bit more. And then I'll pick that one to be the book cover. And then when it comes to self-publishing, because I purchased my own ISBN, which is your International Standard Book Number, and make sure you can get that from. I usually get mine from Bowker. That's BOWKER services. I get my ISBN from there. I register my books. I register from both the hard copy, paper, and the ebook. And once that's all said and done, because I self-publish via Amazon, although I am trying to branch out to Barnes and Noble and other self-publishing platforms. But Amazon is, to me, it's easier to just get set up. And if you have an Amazon account, you automatically get a publishing account. So for those who are interested in self-publishing on Amazon, if you already have an Amazon account, you already got a self-publishing account you can set up. And then once I go through the process of uploading and getting my book, I can then choose the day I want to publish it. And then once that's said and done, it's all a matter of marketing it. So I go on social media like Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, Instagram, and I'm marketing it out there. And I'm also doing spoken word performances from pieces from it. So that's the process. But in terms of once you self-publish it, so once you get to the self-publishing phase, it's relatively easy. It's relatively easy to do so.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd book. I know what that process is like. So, and now to touch it off again. Now, are you doing the cover after it's all put together, or midway through, or in the beginning?
So the cover, I like to do the cover after I've put the book together. Reason for that is because I want to make sure, because my main thing is, and this is something that Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Mariah Carey were known for doing, is they wouldn't do anything else with the album until they got the lyrics down. And so that's the approach I kind of take. Again, I'm not on their level by any means. But my thing is, before I even think about the cover, let me get the words right first. Let me make sure I'm having the appropriate titles. Let me see if I'm having the good flow first. And then once that's all done, then I can focus on, this is what I want the cover to look like. This is when I want it to come out. This is the type. That's the type of process I have. So I typically, like you mentioned, like I said, I wait until after the writing is done to get the cover design.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of Stevie Wonder, I heard that he has something new coming, or he's performing somewhere or doing something. So, interesting. And speaking of Mariah Carey, all of the little marathon out, getting ready for this time. Now, I haven't heard the song yet, but you know what song it is that it gets. Okay, so I know everybody feels a certain way about that Mariah Carey song this time of year. And after a while, you're like, if you haven't done all your Christmas shopping, if you're not set where you need to be and you're hearing that song, it's going to upset you. So you typically hear it in the beginning of the season, and you're like, oh, here it is. And then as it continues to play, and you know that you haven't done your shopping and you're not set right, it kind of can get a little upsetting because it's reminding you that it's reality. But after all of the dashing around and buying stuff and wrapping gifts and cooking and baking and this and that, on Christmas Eve when you hear it playing, all of a sudden you're like, okay, and you're going along with it. If anybody can relate to that, let me know. But that's the little story of the Mariah Carey Christmas album. You don't want to hear that, all throughout when you know you ain't right. But if you're right, then you can, because it's reminding you that it's here. I don't know if anybody else understands where I'm coming from. And if you're in retail, you ain't going to like it anyway because they play it every 5 minutes. So now that I'm out of retail, I'm like, all right, I can enjoy some of these Christmas songs now. Or holiday songs, as people say.
Yeah, my thing is when it comes to that song, it's not that I don't have a problem with it per se. Like when it's around like after we get through like Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I've had is when I hear that song and it's September. Like I remember,
I don't
like,
believe
years
that.
ago
That's
when
crazy. That's crazy.
yeah, like here I am. That whenever whenever I hear that song in September, I'm like, it's not even Christmas. We haven't even gotten to Halloween. We haven't even gotten to Thanksgiving. None of that. Like, can we get past like these other holidays? And then like once it's after that, once it's after Turkey Day, I don't mind hearing Christmas carols. I actually enjoy hearing Christmas carols when it's the Christmas season. I don't enjoy hearing it before. It reminds me of a cartoon I saw a few years back of the jack-o'-lantern and the turkey whipping up on Santa Claus yelling, "Wait your turn." And I'm just like...
That's funny. What's going on, SOS? She says they don't play good music at my store. I used to be jamming. They used to play Destiny's Child. Of course, they play My Girl Mary. Yeah, listen, I'll be bumping every now and then when they get them Christmas songs that, got that little hump on it. But I'm not into the regular, I need to be like rocking a little bit. So that Destiny's Child Christmas album, that definitely, I like that one. Yeah.
It definitely goes hard. I do like that one. One of the only... Actually, I take that back. There's like two maybe old traditional Christmas holiday songs that I like.
Okay, let me guess. Let me guess. Let's say classic Christmas songs that I like, which I'm sure might be on the same page. Number one, "Silent Night" by the Temptations.
Well, that's definitely one of them. You got that one.
All right, I got the next one. "This Christmas," Donny Hathaway.
Man.
What? That is that joint. But let me tell you, Drew Hill, they got one too. That go hard too.
Oh my God. You can never go wrong with Donny Hathaway, that's for sure.
And another one that I like, "Someday at Christmas," Stevie Wonder.
Oh, that is smooth.
But yeah, no, that Drew Hill, they're "This Christmas" knocks a little bit. So anyway, we getting we going on a whole nother situation. But go ahead, did I hit him or no?
Yeah, you hit him. Yeah, you hit him.
Like, who doesn't love Donny Hathaway's "This Christmas"? I think that's the ultimate Christmas song for our culture, if that makes sense. And then, of course, the Temptation one as well. I think those two, that's it for our culture. And of course, there's more. One that I absolutely love, that's a sad Christmas song, but it's kind of, it's real soulful, is "What Do the Lonely Do at Christmas Time." You ever hear that one?
Yeah, that is sad. Yeah, there's there's also Chris.
Yeah, that's by the Emotions. But man, that joint, the way they sing it though, and that beat, and you all of a sudden be like, "Why am I singing this song? This ain't right," but it just sounds good.
Yeah. There's also another song. It's sad because it's upbeat, but when you listen to the lyrics, it is sad. It's by the OJs. "Christmas Just Ain't Christmas Without the One You Love." That's also another.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, that's a classic. It's upbeat. The beat is upbeat, but the lyrics are just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then then there was one by the Ronettes called like "Sleigh Ride Together with You." That's also a pretty good Christmas song, Christmas holiday song,
Now, here's one song that I don't like. And not saying that I don't like it, because I'll take that back, because I love all music. What's going on? Simply Unique, how you doing? It's been such a long time, but we're going to talk real soon. So tonight I'm sipping on Old Moon, Old Vine, White Zinfandel. But Yeah, and you know what? I've been sipping a little bit too much. Oh, I'm losing my train of thought here. But anyway, we were talking about Christmas joints, and the one that I was thinking of, it totally went past because I was sitting there reading the comments. So anyway, uh, let's just get back on track here because with music, I'll take it to a whole nother direction, and we will never get off of here.
Yeah, no problem. It's all right, hey, man. No problem, brother.
But I'm so mad that I lost that Christmas song that I was thinking of. But oh well, whatever. It's gonna come to me because it's coming soon anyway. So we gonna speak about more. But speaking of, y'all know I got to do a little plug for my girl. So Mary J. Blige. Oh, let's see if I can reach and get it. I got it. So this album, A Merry Christmas, it's been 10 years since this has been released. And there is a deluxe version of this now where you get 2 or 3 new songs. So shout out to the Queen, still doing her thing. Mary Jane's, what's going on if y'all out there? Those are the Mary J. Blige fans, fan club. I'm like the number one fan out there. So anyway, Mr. Robert Stubblefield is out here and he has a book called Skyfall. So let's get right on into it. What you have for us?
Okay, great. So I was going to read 2 pieces from Skyfall.
Mm-hmm.
This first piece it's a love poem. It's called Holiness. So I'm going to get started on it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so here it is. Holiness. It took the rest of my life to find you. It took a short time to love you. But now we're going to work to keep each other. See, what makes our union holy is more than love. It isn't always the bliss, the glamour, the glitz. It's enduring the silent treatment, only to make amends later. It is the sleepless nights, wondering what did I do to deserve this love, to deserve this person? What caused the stars to align and meet this person? Let a love bloom, despite the adversities that life threw and still throws at us. And when the love making commences, I feel at my most vulnerable. Yeah, I feel joy because someone sees me and all my faults and purity and still wants to be at my side. And when the time comes, when we're both old and gray, we'll reminisce at our youth and smile, for we found a pure truth, the holiness of love.
I like that. That's what's up. What's going on, Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico? What's up? What's up? What's up? That's a good one. That's an upbeat one. That's unity. That's togetherness. So I like that. We need more of that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's something that I think, is definitely. I know that it's describing relationships, but I think it can be applied to whether friendships. It can be applied to a lot of things. Like being able to just having that sense of connection with somebody, and being able to just feel at peace and feel at one with them, even when there's like rocky moments. To be sure, it's being able to still work through those moments and realize, hey, we're by each other's side. I have your back, you have mine.
SOS says that was beautiful. So
thank you so much.
You're gonna get the ladies with that. So what you trying to do up in here? What you trying to do up in here? That
I was just trying to read some
poetry. Some of them got their little wine and they're sitting there listening. I see what you're doing.
I'd like to know.
All right. So what else? We got another one?
Yes. So this one's going to be more of a socio-conscious poem,
mm-hmm.
And it's called "They Don't Care, Bougie Black Folk." This is what it goes. They don't care. They don't care if you have a PhD or no D. They don't care if you went to Morehouse or no house. They don't care if you came from a good family or single household. They don't care if you work on Wall Street or painted walls in the streets. They don't care if you got a government job or create jobs or have no jobs. They don't care if you got a nice car or take a public transit. They don't care if you're good at sports or not. They don't care if you appeared on national television or pop on your block or you're virtually nameless. They don't care who your sibling is or if you have any. The single child, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you're just another nigga to them. As Elijah Muhammad said, there's acts of the devil at every level.
Wow. That was deep. What
Yeah, I'm about to get into that. So the reason why I wrote that poem is because I've seen, and to provide context for those who are just media, I've been an activist and an organizer since I was 12. And one of the things that never ceases to, I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but still continues to shock, but still continues to just cause me to shake my head, is the amount of black folk that think because they have these credentials, or the fact that they think that because they have a nice house, it makes them immune from racism, when actually it doesn't. In fact, I remember I was at a community forum a couple of months ago, matter of fact, and I had to explain to someone because, yes, I have the reputation of being a fiery demagogue, which I kind of don't mind the term because demagogue literally comes from the Greek word demagogos, meaning teacher of the people. But I had to explain to someone that, I work as an accountant, I have 2 master's degrees, and they got shocked, and they were looking at me like, well, how come you're associating with people?
With folk.
How can you?
Yeah, with folk, right?
Yeah, yeah, with folk. And I had to look at them like, there's a bitter irony because you have a PhD in poli-sci and you're a college professor. You'll gladly talk about the problems, but you won't go into the communities to help solve the problems. You would rather criticize but not help. And that is part of the reason why we're in the predicament that we're in as a society, is we have too many people that are willing to point the fingers but not willing to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty. I don't care. I had to explain to this person, at the end of the day, an officer is not going to care that I volunteer at my church. They're not going to care that I've written poetry books. They're not going to care that I work as an accountant. At the end of the day, they see a 6'3.5", 210, 215 pound African American male, and their first sign is, oh, he's a threat. They're not going to ask. And the sooner you realize that, then the sooner you wake up and realize that, then maybe, just maybe, we can start getting more to the solutions, getting to the root causes of these problems in an ever sickening society. And I told that to this person, and he had to kind of give me this look. And I said, I know you got your doctorate from Harvard, and I respect that. That's hard work. But a Harvard degree does not an activist make,
Wow. You are definitely powerful, brother. I'll tell you that. And I give you credit for it. And all of the stuff that you write and the things that you do, the different groups that you're in, you definitely are serving the people, and that's what we've been put here to do. So that's your calling, and you are doing a great job.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. One of the things that I learned from my grandfather, who was a military veteran, and he raised me for a time, he always would tell me, nobody makes it to the top of the hill alone. And I look at that from the standpoint of the fact that we are all connected to each other in some way, shape, or form. And that we all have a duty to focus on getting rid of the ills and building what Dr. King called the beloved community, right? And Muhammad Ali said it best when he said, that service to others is the rent that we pay here for our time on earth. And quite frankly, if, to be a servant is to be a leader. And I'm not saying to be a servant in terms of letting people walk all over you. No. That's not what I mean by service.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can still serve people and still have a backbone. You can still serve people and say, hey, here are my boundaries, don't cross them. If you do, there's consequences and repercussions if you cross them.
So,
what I basically mean is going, what I basically mean is, and you said it, is helping uplift your community, seeing the problems, finding out what the root causes of these problems are, and working on the solutions so that way we mitigate these problems happening, or better yet, we get rid of these problems. That's how I look at that service.
Wow. So I'm speechless over here. Like, I agree with you 100%. I stand with you with the things that you stand for, and it's always a pleasure when you come on here. You definitely, entertain us, which I'm definitely about, but entertainment can only get you so far. You need to educate, and you are definitely an educator. You entertain people to let people know that you're human, just like, we are all one and the same, like you said. But after that, we can only laugh for so long before we need to get the business, and we need to start to learn a little bit. So you definitely are an educator, a teacher, leader, however you want to call it. So thank you so much for doing what you do. This conversation here,
no problem. Thank you.
On the show here, for those of you out there listening, let me know if you agree. It just flows so smooth. It flows so smooth, like this glass of wine here that's almost done. It flows so smooth, yo. And I love that about when you come on here. You definitely walk away feeling inspired, and that's what I feel tonight. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. And to go back in terms of educating, to be an activist, to be an organizer, is to be an educator of sorts. The only difference is that instead of teaching in a classroom, you're outside. You're meeting the people where they are. It reminds me of something that my grandfather used to say. That is, the mountain didn't go to Muhammad. Muhammad went to the mountain. In other words, you got to meet the people where they are. And considering where we are right now, especially with everything going on, not just in the United States, but also with everything going on in Europe, Latin America, the rise of fascism. My thing is, we're at the point now, at this inflection point in history, that some say it's democracy versus fascism. I'm more so of the thought that evolutionary liberationism versus fascism. Because once you have a liberation, then you can focus on building a true people-powered democracy, right? In terms of being able to empower people, building people's assemblies, teaching people about what participatory budgeting is in terms of dictating the needs that we have to have met in our community, whether it's functioning street lights, regular trash pickup, to having essential mental health services. These are practical things. And also, and I'm just going to throw this out here, if you believe in revolutionary liberationism, then you must be pro-reparations, because reparations, is very key in terms of eliminating what I like to call the justice gaps. Like, we have not just the racial wealth gap, we have a health gap, we have an education gap, we have a criminal justice gap. And reparations, like I said, it's not the panacea, but it is definitely, I feel, would be the giant leap forward. Because one of the things that COVID should have taught us is incrementalism is not working, and we need to take giant leaps forward to truly get to where we know we can go. But we just have to have guts, to do so.
Can I tell you that your vocabulary is just so dope? Incrementalism.
Thanks.
Incrementalism, yo. Like, I learned so much just by sitting here talking to you. So, wow. And it's so true. Like, why settle for the incrementalism? Now I just got a new word that I just learned, and we know what it is once you get around somebody that can break it down the way you did. So why settle for incrementalism, people? Yeah. Come on now. When you could just take giant leaps and get to where you need, why would you settle for incrementalism?
My vocabulary is a mix of debate club and battle rap.
And that's exactly what it sounds. You know, you're a rapper in the streets. It's basically you're just kicking that knowledge, and I can relate to that. I get it. So
Thank you.
when you told me that this show was going to be so dope, this is first of all, this is the first Reading Between the Wines show of 2023. And when you said that it was going to be epic, you know, it was going to be a classic material, it was going to be whatever you called it. You know what I'm saying? You spoke that into existence because this is just like a smooth, like, I mean, we're almost there. It's time to leave. And I don't want to leave. Like, I know I can't pour another glass, but I could. That's what I'm just saying. So
Yeah,
it definitely.
I'm just, I just feel blessed to be here. Like I said, this is my favorite. This is my favorite poetry book podcast. I love listening in. I love, I love reading. I love being on here. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you, and the fact that this is the first Reading Between the Wine show of 2023. I'm just like, man, I'm honored, and I'm honored to kick it off. I'm honored.
Well, you definitely did the damn thing. So everybody else coming up, y'all got some competition. I'm just saying. We got Jonathan Martin Ives coming soon, so he gonna be a trip too. But this was a good vibe. I like this. But I'm not gonna let you leave without a burning question. That's just not gonna happen. So, burning questions. This is a segment of the show where I flip it and I try to put my guests in a hot seat. But lately, it's been a little interesting because my guests have just been going in and they ain't afraid to say nothing. So it's been a little interesting. But how you feel about the burning question tonight? If there's a burning question that you want me to answer.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm waiting for the burning question, man. I'm waiting for it. Give it to me.
We're about to go in. If anybody out there listening, if there's a burning question that you'd like me to, bring up on a future podcast, if you want to remain anonymous, if you don't want to put it in the comments, I understand. Text me at 609-738-0611. That's the official 411 hotline. That number again is 609-738-0611. Burning question for tonight is, if you were forced to get on a plane and take a single one-way trip, where would it be and why? And I'm going to read it again. Now, if you were forced, this isn't nothing fun. We're talking about being forced to get on a plane and take a single one-way trip, meaning you ain't coming back. So if you were forced to get on a plane and take a one-way trip, where would it be and why?
Wow, that's a very tough question right there. If I were forced to take a one-way trip, I'm thinking about quickly. There's two top places. Can I mention them?
Oh, but a single. I mean, I'm gonna let you mention the first one, and then you can go ahead and tell me about all of the others.
Okay, so I guess the number one place I would have to go, I would definitely flee to would be Ghana. The reason why I would choose Ghana is because I've been to Ghana before. Besides the fact that it's a beautiful country, they actually are doing a lot in terms of really, especially they were the first country to do what was called back in 2019 the year of return. And what the year of return was that if you were African American or throughout the diaspora, you could come to Ghana and settle there. And there's already a thriving African American expatriate community. And the other thing that why I would choose Ghana is because they did something that I thought was really cool. Is that the surviving elders from the Tulsa riot? Not only did they go to Ghana, but the president of Ghana made them chiefs. Made them honorary chiefs. Which, like I said, I know it's an honorary title, but the fact that the president honored the survivors of one of the worst massacres ever, to me was a sign of not only acknowledgement but a way of trying to move forward. So Ghana would be my top choice. Like I said, it's tough though because there is another one that's there's another one that's on the list, but Ghana will be the top choice.
Go ahead. Tell me what the second one is.
So the second one would be Nigeria, and the reason why I would choose Nigeria is because part of my heritage, goes back to Nigeria. Specifically, it goes back to the Igbo people, which are located in the Biafra region, and I want to go there to know what it was. And we know when he was taken. In fact, I gotta go back and look at the historical records that we have. But he was one of the survivors of the Clotilda, which was the last known slave ship that smuggled in enslaved Africans during the Civil War in Alabama. And so I want to know exactly, it's kind of like more so reconnecting with my roots that way. So that's why Nigeria would be like my second choice.
Wow. And I'm so glad that you picked outside of the U.S. because that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw this burning question is if you were forced to get on a plane to take a single, meaning that you can't take family, you can't take your lover, you can't take, whoever, like you're going by yourself and you're not coming back, where would it be and why? Well, we going somewhere different than what the hell we've been dealing with here on a regular everyday basis. Why not? I mean, you're going to lose everything. You might as well just go somewhere and start over fresh. So for me, I haven't been but to only two places. I've been to Hawaii and I've been to France. So I like the weather in Hawaii. So if I had to go for right now, today, answering this burning question, I would just go to Hawaii and start over fresh. Painful as it might be, scary as it might be to, be away from your friends and family, I think I would probably find a little more ease starting over there. Now, I would love to say Egypt, but learning the language and stuff like that might be a problem. But and I have never been there, but from what I see, I would love to pick Egypt. I love the hot weather. I love all of that. And so my plans is to get to Egypt real quick so that I can, learn the language and the culture and stuff like that in case something like this ever did happen, because that would be my second place. Second place now because I don't know the language and the culture, but who knows? In the future, that might be my first choice. But for right now, it's Hawaii because I've been there before, and I love the weather. And everybody smells like coconut over there. I just want to tell y'all that. Anyway. You still
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Egypt is very nice. In fact, I have a friend of mine who just moved to Egypt, and she said she's loving it over there. The warm weather, the fact she says one thing that she really loves about Egypt, in contrast to the United States, is that the people are so nice over there. There really is, in the place where she lives, there really is a sense of community over there, and she loves it. So,
can you find out? That might be a good thing. We might need to talk offline because I need to know. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll hit you up, but that's interesting because I see myself traveling to Egypt soon.
Sure, man, no problem.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. What you got for us tonight? You want to go ahead and let us know where we can go ahead and follow you at, get your book, what information you want to give us tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on Twitter, now known as X. You can follow me at 95star. You can also follow me on Instagram at thatguyrob26, where I post a lot of updates regarding the movement and, some poetry. Also, I do have a special announcement I'd like to make, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so December 19th, so mark your calendars. December 19th, I will be dropping Skyfall Volume 2. That's right, Skyfall Volume 2 coming out 12/19. Get yourself an early Christmas present. And you can get all my books. You can order them via Amazon. So all you got to do is just type in the Skyfall Volume 1 or No Rain in the Desert, and you will find my books there. So just want to let you know the special announcement: Skyfall Volume 2, December 19th.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I would like to say if we type in your name, Robert Stubblefield, in Amazon, will it come up that way too?
Yes, it will come up, yes.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen so everybody can see how his name is spelled. We are on the phone with author, activist, Mr. Robert Stubblefield. Go ahead and check him out on Amazon. Get all 3 of his books. December 19th, like SOS says, absolutely. You got 4 books. You're just like knocking them out. Last time I spoke to you, it was only 2. Now we got 4 coming out. So this is amazing. So check out my special guest tonight. This has been an amazing experience. And have you ever thought about putting a book together of quotes and things from your grandfather? Because the knowledge that you were kicking to us tonight, man, I'm sure he told you more than just those 2 things you told us tonight. 2 or 3 things you told us tonight. Have you ever thought about putting that together in a book so it could be preserved for,
I've thought about it. I definitely have thought about, putting quotations from my grandfather, in a book or a booklet. Like, it's crossed my mind. It definitely has crossed my mind. I think maybe what I want to do is perhaps take my grandfather's quotes and make them into haikus. That's something that I have thought about doing as well.
That sounds good too. If that happens, definitely let me know, because I definitely would like to be a part of that.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
So we got part 2 coming out, volume 2, Skyfall Volume 2, December 19th.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, we done got through a session of Reading Between the Wines. I want to say thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and thank you so much. And I just want to thank to the people who are listening in, thank you so much for tuning in to Reading Between the Wines and helping Laren, grow his platform, and, watching him. I just want to say thank you all, for without you all, none of this would be possible. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. I will definitely talk to you soon, and take care. Be safe. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you. But yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, it will be. Time does fly.
Cheers. Take care. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care. Stay care, brother.
All right. See ya. Well, there you have it. So I'm like just so off of the reviews about this wine here, because I know it's 14%. Robert Stubblefield, first of all, came in and just like took me to a whole nother level. And then this wine also is no joke. And these people said some pretty interesting comments about this wine. Like, it was rough. This wine was so smooth. It was so smooth, and it tastes so good. I just want to tell y'all, cherries, and you get a lot of berries in it. So Old Moon, Old Vine, Zinfandel definitely did it for the night. Robert Stubblefield came in. He read Skyfall. Y'all go ahead and check that out. He has Skyfall Volume 2 coming out on the 19th. Please go ahead and check him out on Amazon. Robert Stubblefield. We talked about Your Rejection, My Protection. We did the tweet thing featuring Missy Elliott. Somebody Else Will. Song of the Day. We had a good show tonight. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined in SOS. We had Amari out there. We had author Dan Gallardo. So many different people showed up, and I want to say thank you so much for that. And it is a wrap. I will see y'all tomorrow. Miss SOS is coming in on the 411 podcast. We're doing the daily version, the live version of the 411 podcast and reading between the wines from mark your calendar from now. If you're joining me now, we started on Monday. But if you're just catching on, that's cool. From now all the way until the 30th. So we got you locked in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single night. Friday. Let me make sure I got my dates right. Friday, we doing Reading Between the Wines again. We have my friend Jonathan Martin Ives. Last time I spoke to Jonathan Martin Ives, he bought me a bottle of wine, and we were on here just having a great time. So we're going to go ahead and go down memory lane with him as well Friday. So tomorrow we got SOS. Friday we got Jonathan coming in, and we're going to do Reading Between the Wines again. Now, if you'd like to find out more about me and what I got going on, you can go to LarenGaines.com. Everything is at Laren Gaines. That's Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, DLive, Twitch, Daily Motion. Clips from the shows and things like that will be posted in my stories. It'll be posted on Daily Motion, Twitch, things like that of nature. So little pieces from the show. If you missed it, you'll be able to catch up and check out things, even on TikTok as well. What's going on, Orlando? What's going on, Hayden? I appreciate all of y'all for joining in. And on that note, if you'd like to speak to me one-on-one, if you'd like to get some coaching sessions, you can go ahead and check me out. Head on over to LarenGaines.com, and you can get a one-on-one private coaching sessions with me without the cameras, without the action, just one-on-one. Whatever topics, whatever themes, whatever things you'd like to go through, we can do that one-on-one. Just head on over to Laren Gaines and sign up for that. If you're looking to travel and you're looking for adventure, I can help you out. You can vacation with me. Not literally vacation with me, maybe. But you can vacation with me and I can help you book. I can help you save. I can help you with itineraries and get you set up for any type of vacation and travel that you like to do. Head on over to LarenGaines.com. You can also DM me. You can text me at 609-738-0611 and let me know where you'd like to travel, and then we could take it from there. And also, if you're over there on LarenGaines.com, next month I have something exciting coming out. So I have a newsletter that's coming out called Whispers of Wisdom. And what that is going to do is give you some wisdom, first of all, but you're going to get a little mixture of what we got going on here. So you get the 4-in-1 podcast. You're going to get Reading Between the Wines. I'm going to give you some nice bottles of wine to sample. You're going to get wine of the month. And you're going to see what I'm sampling. And maybe you can add that to your collection. Of course, you're going to get the travel. Places that I've been, places that I want to go. You're going to get some wisdom. You know how we do an inspirational talk here as well. So you're going to get all of that great stuff. Head on over to LarenGaines.com. Once a month, awesome content delivered to your inbox. And that's just basically it. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you out there for checking me out, hanging out there with me. Instagram, this is day 2. For y'all have definitely been doing your thing. Facebook, TikTok. I want to say what's up to, Alex Goquito. I saw you out there. Thank you so much. Nate Perry, you did your thing yesterday. Today, Robert Stubblefield. I'm just so amazed and I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful for the growth of all of my guests, because we started off in 2020, and as I grow, everybody who comes on a platform continues to grow, and that's what it's about. And that's what it's about. And that's what it's about. It's about growth. It's about a movement. This is about evolving. This is the evolution, because we can't stay stuck. So you can only stay stuck for so long. And after a while, you get sick and tired of yourself and you have to learn how to just evolve. And that's what this whole movement is about. And I could not do any of this. I could have not evolved into the person that I am without each and every one of you out there rocking with me, supporting. So please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend. Come on in tomorrow, 8 p.m. my girl, Miss SOS. You know, we're going to have some laughs. And, you know, she just keeps it real. And I love her for that. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a good night. And on that note, I will see you when I see you. This has been a great experience. Take care, y'all. I appreciate you.